In a living room filled with memories and unfulfilled dreams, Mavis is lost in the glow of her phone. The room echoes with the absence of youth. Marked by half-packed boxes, her fingers dance across the screen, searching for a new companion. An ethereal guardian, Ghost Dog watches with unwavering loyalty. He observes her every move, a silent promise of unconditional love. Mavis continues her search, a flicker of hope in her eyes as she seeks a new beginning.
Harold, consumed by anxiety, traverses the living room with agitated steps. In his trembling grip, a half-eaten biscuit crumbles, mirroring his inner turmoil. His pacing halts abruptly as Harold confronts Mavis, his eyes blazing with desperation. Harold's voice cracks with disbelief. You can't just replace him with some yappy Yorkshire terrier.
The air grows heavy with Harold's rising panic, his words echoing in the worn room.
With a plea of desperation, Harold declares, Ghost Dog is part of the family now.
Mavis throws her hands up, frustration etched across her face.
Ghost Dog whimpers, his form flickering as he phases through the armchair.
Mavis's voice rises in disbelief and anger. Harold, he howled at the Hoover and made the thermostat bleed. Bleed, Harold! The room pulsates with Mavis's unrestrained fury and Ghost Dog's spectral unease. Sunlight streams into the living room, illuminating the silent drama unfolding.
Harold stands firm, arms crossed, a bulwark against Mavis' desire.
Mavis gestures wildly, her words painting a picture of simple companionship.
Harold scoffs, dismissing Mavis's vision, calling it weak.
Mavis, furious, wants socks? Not Latin at 3 a.m. The battle of wills hangs heavy in the sunlit room. In the living room of Number 9A, Ghost Dog's low growl vibrates through the air, subtly shaking the sofa.
Harold retorts defensively. That was one time, and he was protecting us.
Mavis scoffs, unimpressed. From what? My sensible book club? Ghost Dog shifts, the sofa cushions rustling under his weight as he settles back down.
Harold gestures emphatically, defending Ghost Dog's actions.
Mavis rolls her eyes, dismissing Harold's explanation with a wave of her hand. Mavis stands defiantly in the sun-drenched living room, her sarcasm sharp enough to cut through the tension. Oh, wait, maybe he is allergic to lemon drizzle and passive aggression, she spits out, the words laced with venom. The oppressive silence hangs heavy, broken only by the relentless sunlight flooding through the window. A sudden, sharp K-knock shatters the tense quiet, echoing ominously through the house. The knock reverberates, a stark punctuation mark in the escalating drama. The door creaks open, a sliver of darkness giving way to Mrs. Danvers, standing silently in the hallway. Her smile is serene as she clutches a suitcase, the hallway filled with an unspoken mystery.
With a disconcerting calm, Mrs. Danvers announces, "I hope you don't mind I've brought my overnight bag." Her eyes gleam with unnatural knowledge as she adds, "The mirror said the energy in this flat is ripe." Mrs. Danvers enters the living room, her composure a stark contrast to the dilapidated surroundings.
Mavis stares, disbelief twisting her features as she confronts the reality of their situation. Mavis erupts in disbelief. Ripe? This isn't a chakra spa, it's a condemned sitcom with plumbing. The tension between Mrs. Danvers and Mavis fills the dilapidated living room. The stark contrast between Mrs. Danvers' demeanor and the rundown sitcom sets the stage for conflict.
Harold gently nudges Mavis, setting the stage for an unusual proposition. Harold leans in, suggesting, "If we're going full weird, she might as well stay. Maybe Ghost Dog likes her."
Ghost Dog emits a telepathic rumble, an otherworldly communication understood only by Mrs. Danvers.
Mrs. Danvers listens intently, seemingly deciphering Ghost Dog's silent message. MRS. Danvers exudes a chilling cheerfulness, standing tall amidst the domestic scene.
Mavis, overwhelmed, gestures wildly, her frustration echoing through the room.
Danvers cackled, offering bone broth to all.
Mavis retorts sarcastically, "Wonderful! Shall I just put Haunted BB on the mailbox?" Inside the living room, Harold grins, his eyes sparkling with warmth and humor. Harold wraps an arm around Mavis, pulling her closer into an embrace.
Harold teases, "Better than emptiness with demons?" Harold continues, his voice dripping with playful challenge. "Come on, Maeve, admit it." Harold's voice softens, a hint of genuine affection coloring his words. You like the madness a little.
Mavis shifts slightly, a subtle smile playing on her lips, hinting at reluctant agreement. Mavis sighs, her exhaustion palpable in the sun-drenched living room. Ghost Dog curls up on the armchair, settling in for what feels like an eternity. Mavis murmurs, her voice heavy with resignation, "Only because I'm too tired to move again." The room settles into a quiet tableau of exhaustion and spectral comfort. In the living room of Number 9A, shadows stir as Mrs. Danvers prepares a mystical ritual. With deliberate movements, she unrolls a mat, setting the stage for an otherworldly communion. The air thickens with anticipation as she arranges incense sticks, each placement precise and intentional. A small ornate lighter sparks to life, casting an eerie glow upon her face, igniting the incense. Wisps of smoke curl upwards, carrying secrets and whispers into the ether. The room transforms into a sanctuary of shadows and scents as the ritual begins to unfold. Inside the cozy living room of Number 9A, Mavis fixes her gaze on Harold, a hint of apprehension flickering in her eyes. Her eyes dart nervously towards Ghost Dog, a mix of concern and suspicion clouding her expression. But I swear, if that mutt starts levitating the cutlery again, I'm calling an exorcist!
Harold listens, a smirk playing on his lips as he glances at Ghost Dog, who appears innocently oblivious.
Ghost Dog sits calmly, seemingly unaware of the looming threat of an exorcist, his tail thumping softly against the floor. The living room fills with unspoken tension, the air thick with anticipation of Ghost Dog's next supernatural antic.
Harold sits, a carefree smile gracing his face, as if he holds all the answers. Harold recalls a past attempt, his tone light. "We tried that, remember? He turned their crucifix into a teething toy."
Mavis groans, the weight of frustration crushing her. Mavis, overwhelmed, hides her face in despair. In the kitchen, Mavis prepares to make tea. The kettle suddenly shrieks, its whistle piercing the silence. Lights flicker ominously, casting long, dancing shadows across the room. Mavis recoils in terror as the kitchen plunges into chaos. She stumbles backward, her eyes darting around the room. The whistling intensifies, mingling with the electrical crackle. Dim candlelight flickers, casting elongated shadows across the room where secrets stir. Mrs. Danvers, eyes shut tight, clasps hands with Harold, their joined fate hanging in the balance.
In the heart of their seance, Ghost Dog shimmers, a spectral vision blurring the line between worlds.
Mrs. Danvers whispers. Soft chanting fills the room, a low, rhythmic drone that seems to vibrate the very air. Mavis lies in bed, eyes wide, lost in the darkness. Shadows flicker, dancing like unseen spirits in the corners of the room. Strange whispers fill the air, voices just beyond the edge of hearing. A scratching sound echoes from within the walls, chilling her to the bone. A shiver runs down Mavis's spine, a cold wave of dread washing over her.
Harold's playful grin fills the room as he readies a spectral tennis ball for Ghost Dog. With a flick of his wrist, Harold sends the glowing ball soaring through the air.
The tennis ball flickers, vanishing momentarily before reappearing mid-air, an ethereal trick. Ghost Dog watches the spectral ball's erratic movements, his head tilting in confusion.
Ghost Dog remains still, bewildered, tail wagging slightly despite the strange phenomenon.
Mavis approaches the kitchen fridge, ready to start her day. She opens the fridge, expecting the usual breakfast items. Instead, an eerie green glow emanates from within. The fridge is packed with glowing green slime and jars labeled Essence of Ectoplasm. Mavis recoils, shocked by the unappetizing contents. In the warm glow of the living room, Mrs. Danvers prepares a moonlit bath for Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog eagerly anticipates his bath, tail wagging in excitement. Mrs. Danvers gently lowers Ghost Dog into the moon water. Ghost Dog relishes the soothing water, splashing playfully with delight. The living room fills with the joyful sounds of splashing and contentment as Ghost Dog enjoys his bath, bathed in moonlight. Ghost Dog emerges refreshed, a picture of serene happiness. In the hallway of Number 9A, Mavis attempts a clandestine exit, suitcase in hand. Suddenly, Ghost Dog appears, an obstacle of canine concern in her path. A ghost whimpers fill the air as he pleads, nudging Mavis's leg with gentle insistence. Mavis pauses, her resolve faltering under the weight of Ghost Dog's heartfelt protest. The hallway becomes a stage for their silent drama, a battle of wills played out in whimpers and unspoken words. The living room is bathed in the eerie glow of the television, its flickering light dancing across the walls.
Harold and Mrs. Danvers erupt in laughter, their eyes wide with delight as the horror unfolds on screen.
Each jump scare is met with peals of laughter, their enjoyment a stark contrast to the terror on screen. In stark contrast to the jovial pair, Mavis sits alone in the corner, a picture of misery and isolation. Mavis remains huddled in the corner, alone in her silent misery. While laughter fills the room, Mavis sinks further into her solitude, the horror movie a mirror to her own despair.
Mavis watches with growing amusement as Ghost Dog focuses intently. Ghost Dog concentrates, and a biscuit floats into the air. With a swift movement, Ghost Dog catches the biscuit mid-air.
Mavis finally cracks a smile, the ice around her heart beginning to melt. The madness begins to charm Mavis. Eerie music fills the living room, setting a tense stage. An unsettling phenomenon begins. A spoon floats upward behind Mavis, hinting at supernatural forces at play. Harold and Mrs. Danvers exchange knowing glances, a silent acknowledgement of the strange happenings. The eerie music intensifies, enhancing the growing sense of unease. Mavis remains oblivious, while the spoon continues its ghostly ascent. The knowing looks between Harold and Mrs. Danvers deepen, suggesting a shared secret or anticipation.